Hi guys, welcome back to another one. So today we're going to be pre-baiting for the upcoming trapping season. So we're about 2 weeks away here. So we have all the properties that we'll go ahead and show you. We have 6 pre-baiting sets that we're going to put out in this video. And yeah, let's go take a look. Alright guys, so we got out the first bait station. So right here's where the property ends that we have permission for. And as you can see, there's a nice trail that leads right here. And it goes down, so it has a high side trail and also a low side down by the shore. So we put the bait station right here. So got it filled up with corn and stuff like that. Make sure to check your regs if you're gonna do this because it's not legal everywhere. And then I also put a little glow coon lure up top. Just has a nice trailing scent to bring them in faster. So there's also some dog food in there as well, so it'll be good for any coyotes or anything, and then a little bit of molasses. So yeah, we got that done. So he doesn't own that side, so there's a nice breakover right here of all these trees, so they'll be able to come right over, and all of this section will get drawn here as well. So yeah, we'll go on to the next one. So we're out at the next property here. So this is where we used to trap beavers down the river a little bit. So we have the field and then the actual tree line over here, and then we have kind of the main woods over in this section. So we'll actually go ahead and find a spot to put one of the bait stations out in here because there's probably plenty of coon dens out here. And then we'll also follow the river down a bit and see if we can find another spot for a second one. So we went ahead and got the second bait station put out. So we have it right here. Put a little Dunlap Firefly coon lure right on top just with a stick. It's really sweet smelling, so it should draw them in. So we have a couple old buildings here, all kind of in disrepair, as you can see. No one actually lives around this area, so it's probably just nice good denning area for all the raccoons. And we have multiple trails all intersecting right here, and then we have our bait station just on the side. So it's just a mixture of corn, molasses, I think there's some apple in there, and some other food scraps like meat. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get the second, or actually the third bait station out, the second one on this property. So guys, we're standing on the beaver dam that I was helping trying to get all the beaver dispatched, but apparently I couldn't get them all, obviously. So I had this whole section right here completely broken apart. They had it refilled, obviously, and you can see the difference in water level. It's about 3 feet, I would say. It's kind of hard for the camera to pick up, but the whole beaver dam starts all the way over there, runs all the way down past me, all the way past Kenny right there. So this is all area for the beaver. There's a secondary location down this creek that there's more beaver even. So we'll probably go ahead this season and try to dispatch what we can and open this up for the farmer because it's getting really close to the edge of their field, making it really wet, really sloppy for all the equipment. So I figured I would show you one more thing. So you can see all the tracks on the ground here from all the animals using this as kind of a highway to cross the actual creek. So you can see all the deer. There's some raccoon on the edge. So this is a great area for you to kind of pinpoint where these animals are crossing, as beaver dams are really sturdy. Good areas for all animals to get across. You can see more over here. So you have a little baby deer right there, a little button buck probably. And then just a couple more raccoons. Looks like there's a really old shell right there. We'll pick that up and dispose of it. And yeah, we'll probably go ahead and set this area and then also go after the beavers as well. It looks like this lodge is abandoned, but there are other lodges right down there, real big. So hopefully there's plenty of beavers for us to take this season. So we got to the next location. So it's a dried creek bed right here. So there's still a pond over there. Runs over here to kind of a Y section for the other creek that I showed you that other beaver dam at, and then they all run out there. So as you can see, there's a trail right here, there's a secondary trail right over there, and then there's a third right over here for us. So they're all right in the same area, and with all this corn molasses mix along with the corn or the raccoon glow lure, they'll draw them all over to this section. So let's see,
Might have to get your food stuck.
yeah, maybe. So the reason I stake it down is that they're gonna try to push it, they're gonna try to move it around. I'm not worried about them pulling it away at all. And then you just fill it up. You got the dog food, all the corn and stuff. Kind of give them a little freebie so they know it's here. And then with the lids, I actually have little wire. Here it is. So I put 2 on this one just to make sure that they don't open it. I put it through the hole on the side, back in, and we'll twist it up. Then we'll actually go ahead, grab the lure here. So the firefly actually smells really good, to be honest. We'll grab a stick here, just dip it in, pull it out, take off a little bit there, and then I just wipe it a little bit and keep the stick there, and that'll draw from that area and this area for sure. It might draw even farther, but those are just the main ones of concern. And then once they get over here, they'll start digging their paws in there and get it all out. And then, yeah, that'll keep it from moving out, and they can shake it, they can stick their hands in there. Since it's as big as a dog proof, that'll work just fine. And then that last little bit, they actually have to stick their hands in to get the rest out. So really good for skunks, raccoons, kind of everything. So we'll go ahead and get to the next one here. So we're out here at the second to last property. So we have this area to work with. So these 3 buildings, and then also this wood section. So he says that there's raccoons in the actual barns and stuff. So once season comes around, we'll go ahead, set around the barns, and we'll get those ones pretty easy. So we'll actually put out the bait station out in this section of woods, because hopefully we're also able to attract the coons from that area, and also the creek behind, as we don't have access to that property, and also the skunks and other types of animals. So we'll go ahead, get out there, and see where we put it. So we got into the wooded section. So where you last saw us was right over this hill. There's all the buildings for reference. So we're right kind of in the middle of all this timber. So we have multiple piles of wood and various other things. So really good areas for skunks and stuff like that to hide. So that's kind of where we're going to base it off of. So we're going to just put it right in the middle, just right here for us. We'll grab the stake. Make sure that they don't tip it over, anything like that. Make some work for the food. Hard to get my foot in there. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and fill it up. Perfect. And we'll just take a little bit, put it on the outside. And we'll put the wire through. So the reason why I put the wire through is because raccoons are pretty good at opening everything. So this kind of helps them from actually being able to open up this lid. So we'll go ahead and actually stick it through here. And we'll get it through this one for us. Just like that. Lock the lid, twist this. Just like that. And I'll go ahead and grab out of my jacket the lure here. So this is kind of the first time that I've used this lure, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how well it works for us here, since I got it as a free gift. Figure might as well use it. So just like all the others, kind of swirl it a little bit and then leave the twig right on top, and that one's ready to go. We'll probably come back in a week or so and check all of them, see how they are. So the actual trapping season is about 2 weeks away when we're gonna start, so we'll go from there and see and kind of be able to tell how much actual activity we have. This is a nice wet area, so wherever they step we'll be able to see, and they'll kind of dig up the area as well, getting at the corn and molasses and everything. So yeah, we'll go on to the next one. So we're out here at the next spot. So we have a river over here connecting underneath the bridge. So we have access to this property on this side and then a small sliver on the other. So we're going to mostly stay on this side. So we have kind of the lower area where it usually gets flooded out, kind of a floodplain. And then we have the hill that goes right up over there, which connects to a field which we do not have access to. So we have access up to the field. So that's most likely where the coyotes are going to run, is up there, and then also on these trails for the trucks and stuff. So we'll probably go find a spot down low for the bait station down here for the raccoons. Then we might put one up there as well, kind of depending if we see any activity up there. So let's get started. So we got the first spot here, so we came up to the upper ledge. So we have access to half of the field. Won't be setting in the field obviously, but it's a nice section right along that you like to travel for raccoons and everything, and it's also ease of access for us. So we went ahead and we're going to put one right here for a bait station, and then we'll go down there and do the following set, as there's kind of an ATV trail down there, so it's going to be a good access point where all the other animals that don't want to come up here can travel. So we'll go ahead, get this in. Get my foot in here without dying. Not good enough for me. And we'll go ahead, open her up. Got some freebies. Grab the wire. We'll find the hole down here. Bring it up. And we got that. Close it up here. And we'll go ahead and grab the lure. So these are all new properties, so we like to kind of check and see what's in the area. So this kind of bait station idea is really good for that as well. So if you are kind of interested in seeing what you have, this is a good way to do it. That's really time effective. Perfect. And just like that, that's all ready to go. Anything that travels up here is going to stop by, even if it's a coyote. It'll be interested with the molasses and everything like that. And yeah, we'll go on to the next one. Alright guys, so we got the last bait station right here that we're going to be putting out today. So we have it right where the river arches back on itself. So this is a nice crossover that the raccoons are going to be using right here. So when they come up, they're going to hit this right away. And then any other animals will be able to spot it as well. So we have the other one up on top of the hill line, so we have both of them covered. So hopefully in about a week or so, you guys will be able to see kind of the So we made it to the first location here. So it's just along this old fence line that used to be public/private property, but now it's all public. So this is going to be our first public land set here in this season. So it's just nice because they're going to be following it until a break happens, which is right over there. But we're just going to sit right over here so they don't get tangled up into anything. So we have our dog proof right here. I have a golf ball for the mice. And then I'll go ahead and get this set for us here. If this one wants to cooperate. I have snow all packed up in there. It doesn't like to work. Oh, this one sucks. Let's see. Grab one of these Duke ones we got. So it's just a little disposable stake, one-time use. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab that. So this is a push or pull. So either way that it happens, it'll still work. I'll grab the tool here. Last year we're losing all the tools out here, so paint them orange, it's not such a problem anymore. Out. So it is snowy, but it has yet to actually have any actual frost in the ground, so it's just fine. And then what else we'll do is we'll kind of disturb the area here. Cameraman just fell down. Hard to stand. And then we got our dog cat food mix with some bacon grease as well. So we'll go ahead, grab some of that. You just need enough to get below the trigger. As this is a push or pull, no matter what they do, it's gonna get set off. Put the golf ball on top. Throw a couple kernels around just so they can smell it. Like those bigger pieces you can't really use anyways, because they'll just clog it up. Put that in there. And if we do catch any possums, we'll just release them since there's no real market yet, though I think some are trying to find a market. They've not yet gotten there. Then we'll just put some of that glow coon lure right on the golf ball so they can smell it. Put that right there. We set the anchor and everything, so this one's ready to go. So we'll get on to the next one here. So we're at the next location. It's pretty close to the other one. As I said a little earlier, we're just gonna kind of be carpet bombing this area, so we have this one all done so we can use these traps elsewhere in the season. So we'll actually go ahead. That's not a wolf thing. We'll just grab the disposable here. So this is a nice obvious trail. It meets up with a deer trail right back there. So this one goes right over there. So we'll just follow this one. We'll put it right in the trail so they can't miss it. And a good thing that you need to remember, especially with like footholds for coons so they don't eat off their paws basically, is have something in the area for them to mess with instead of your trap. So they can just chew on the stick, they can mess with the stick all they want instead of messing with your trap. So that's a good way if you're having a lot of chew-offs to actually not have as many. If you don't really have these other kinds of traps. at your disposal. So we'll just crank this thing all the way down. Just like that. Pull it out. Set it just like that. And with dog proofs, you're not trying to be sneaky. They know you're here. So we try to make them sit right in the middle of the road for them. We'll go ahead, stick some food in there. So it's supposed to be cold tomorrow as well, so none of this snow is going to make it too wet for them. Give them some freebies around so they know it's here. Just like that. And since we're just messing with coons for this outing, we don't really have to worry about scent anywhere in there. It'll be just fine. Go ahead, stick our golf ball on for the mice. And lastly, we'll just toss a little lure on there since we have it. Might as well use it. And just like that. Stick the leaf right next to it. And yeah, so we got this one all done. We'll probably put maybe one or two more on this area here, and then we'll get moving to the next one. So we made it to the next set, so we're at the next fence line here. So we'll just put one on this side, we'll put another one on the other side, and we'll make a big disturbance here so they know something's going on. So they're curious animals, they'll come right over to it. A lot of these areas are just rinse and repeat, you know. Set it here. Grab our golf ball, pop it on top, and toss our lure on. Perfect. Stick that right by it. So yep, we'll just hop across the fence here and get to the next one. So, as you guys can see, we literally have the other trap right across. Like I said, if a trap's good for one, it's good for two. So we'll go ahead and get the second one put up here. All right, so that's probably the last one for this property. So we have 4 out here. We'll get moved on to the next one. So we're at the next property. So we have a river right here, and we have permission on both sides on each side of the highway. So for this side, there's ATV trail right behind us, but since the neighbors can see us, we figured we'll go right down here, since the quickest way to get kicked off the property is for the neighbor to complain to the person. So we'll just keep it all the way so they can't see it. It's right next to the trail, they should be able to find it. And then we'll probably set 2 more going this way through this once we find a couple more trails. So we'll get the first one here into the ground. And then for this one, what we'll actually do is we'll spread the food going onto the trail, so they'll get lured down here actually. So as that's going to be their main travel way, but since we can't set right on the trail, we have to work with what we got. Toss that there. Grab our lure. Just like that. Perfect. And we'll actually stick this up over here. Good trailing scent to it. So yeah, we'll get moving to the next one. So we made it to the next location, which is actually about 5 feet away from the last trap. I changed my mind. We're gonna set 2 at this location. That's just such a good trail. Can't pass up the opportunity to get a double. So we'll go ahead and get the second one in the ground for us. If you have the traps to do it, always put 2 in the ground. Just like that. Pull that taut. Set this down. Something you guys didn't see is I disturbed the area quite a bit at that last set, and we'll also do it at this same spot as well. Just set a couple of rounds since we already have pretty good amount going up to the trail here. It should work just fine. Not gonna put lure on this one or anything, since it should get drawn by the one right next to it. No need to waste lure where you don't need it. Then we'll grab the golf ball here. And boom. The golf ball also helps not just with mice, but it also helps with the raccoons. If you don't have sticks or stuff in the area, they'll play with that, they'll gnaw on it, they'll just mess with it, especially if you have lure on it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get to the next one here. So we made it to our last location for this side of the property. So we have the river right over here, we have the road up the hill. So for our regulations, we have to stay X amount of feet away from the river, which we are plenty far away. And then also roads, you have to stay a good healthy distance as well. So we'll go ahead and get this set here. Since our water trapping doesn't actually open for a week, we have to abide by those regulations until it opens up, and then obviously you can set traps there. But just for as of right now, this is what we gotta do. So we'll go ahead. Made a disturbance here, so even if they're traveling over there going up the hill, there's a lot of brush right there, so they'll probably just walk along to get over here. That's where most of the raccoons get hit on the road. so it'll work just fine for it. So they'll actually be able to see this when they're up there. We got that one. Go ahead, set it. And we'll just scatter them up, since that's the area I expect them to be coming from. Grab the golf ball, toss it on top. With raccoons, it's fairly simple as long as you set on sign and all that. It works. They aren't as fussy as coyotes or anything of the sort. And then we'll actually go ahead and use this stick that's sitting right here. Nice scent post. So we'll go ahead and get moved to the next location. So we made it to the other side of the river, so the next section of property, and here we'll be setting a double down on this truck trail, and then we'll also put a double up on top next to the cornfield. So we'll go ahead and get this started here. So typically you'd want to set directly on the trail that they're using, but since there are still trucks using this, I don't want to be getting my traps run over. So we'll go ahead and just not do that and avoid the problem. So we got that one here, put right there. I'll grab the next one here. And set it right over here for us. You want to make sure that they're out of reach of each other, or else you're going to have a coon with 2 hands and 2 traps. Which is a little bit of a waste. So, and it's not too fun for them either. So we'll actually go ahead and put the stakes on opposite sides here. Just like that. We'll go ahead, pull up to set it. Get our bait in there. Just enough to fill up underneath the trigger. We'll go ahead, toss a little onto the trail here for us. Just like that. Grab our golf ball right there. And we'll grab our lure here for us too. Just like that. So I'm just going to put a lure on one, since there's no real reason to put it on both. They're right at the same location, so if one smells one of them, they'll smell both. Grab our stuff that we need for the other one here. set the trap this way. Plenty distance. And here. Back. And boom, so this one's all done. We'll get moved on to the next one. So we'll go ahead and get this area. So this is right on the edge of the field. Good travel way. I was gonna set a double up here, but at this point I think I'm gonna set one up here and right at the bottom of the hill. Since it's so steep, they're either gonna be running on the top or the bottom. So either way I wanna get to them. So we'll set one up here, and then we'll go ahead, go back down and set the other one for us. Hard to see with all the snow if you're even hitting the stake. So we'll go ahead, set it right on the line. Put some food in so it is a push or pull. So you don't want too much bait in there or else it could set it off prematurely. So we got that one. I'm not going to put any lure on it. Since it's right on a travel way, it doesn't need any. Go ahead, toss the golf ball on, and we'll get moving to the next. So we made it to right at the bottom of the hill here. So this is the other travel path that they'll be taking, so figure we would cover both approaches here. Get that one ready. This one, there's not going to be any real trucks or anything coming over here from what I could tell. But we'll still keep it a little bit off just in case. You never know. Get that one started. Actually move it over just to here. Just like that. We'll set it. Grab our food. Toss a little bit out, not too much. and our golf ball here, and it's set, ready to go. Good eye peel everywhere. Hopefully we got something tomorrow. It's supposed to stop snowing here in a couple hours, but if not, should be the next day for it since it's going to be nice and warm. So yeah, we'll get moving to the next property. So we got the first coyote set in here. So this is just right along the field edge, since we have to stay away from the actual water. This is just where we got to go to. So this is where they should be traveling anyways after they get over that dam that you saw in the previous episode. So we have it right here. It's a Montana 3, and in the actual hole we're gonna put some Dunlap Hellfire in there. And yeah, it's strong. Make sure I don't get any on myself, because I really don't feel like smelling like this. I would say if you guys want to make sure that your coyotes are going to smell it, get Hellfire, because there's no way they're not. And you don't need a lot, you just need a little bit. So we just got the stick here, put it right down in that hole. I'm not wearing gloves right now, just in case I did get a little bit on me. It's not on the outside of my gloves. Plus, the scent won't really matter too much to the coyotes since they're going to be fixated on that smell, which is a lot stronger than my scent. So, yeah, we got this one done. We'll go ahead and move to the next one. So, we got to the next spot. So, we have a creek bed that was dry, no longer dry, so we have to stay away from it. And we got our Duke number 3 that we'll go ahead and set right here. We have it tied off to the fence post, nice and sturdy, and it's right on the edge of this field with the trail right next to it, about 10 feet where the ATV is. So yeah, we'll go ahead, get this in there, and we'll be right back. So we got this one all done, as you saw. So we have a little bit of barbed wire here, which will act as a natural deterrent that they're used to. So it's kind of a step down area to get into that hole. So that's kind of what we're banking on. And this kind of acts as a natural deterrent on this side as well. So they have to come up through this area. So again, there's scent there of human, but with that Hellfire, it kind of overtakes that. So we'll go ahead, we'll leave that here, see if tomorrow we have anything. So we got to the next spot. This is where we're gonna put a DP. As you can see, there's a nice defined trail coming right through here. Obviously it's not a deer, because deer aren't going to go through this little area. It's probably 3 feet at the highest, so obviously a small game trail. So we'll go ahead, set for coons. Since this is along the line where we have to get to the next coyote set anyways, we might as well set a trap here if we have one. So we'll go ahead and set this one here, just right along this trail. And then we'll go ahead, grab the food. We'll just toss a little bit in, just like that. And so I don't get it on these gloves. Just a little bit onto the trail so they find their way right over to the trap. So we got this one. They're pretty easy. Went ahead, had the anchor set. So we're all ready to go. We'll get moving to the next one.
Hey y'all, so Brady's going out to go get some more traps from the truck because we have a limited space in the ATV. But I'm going to start on a coyote set right here in the corner. We've got a line here and a trail over here. I think there's a crossing right here, and then trail back this way where he's leaving. So yeah, I think right here will be a good spot.
So for this spot, we're gonna set 2. So we already got the one done over in this area. So we use Hellfire and fox urine, actually. Just changing it up a little bit from the other traps on this property. Keep it a little fresh, a little different. So threw the deer clubs out, so it looks like obviously the fox was digging there. So hopefully fox and coyotes are interested. Raccoons probably will be as well. So yeah, we got that one that runs along this trail here. And then we also have the main trail right here, which we're going to be setting one over there where you see the orange cap right now. So we'll go ahead and get that one in as well. So we're just getting the wolfing in this one right now. As you can see, the ATV back there. And for this one, it's going to be along this field edge with the trail intersecting from the other field. For this one, we're going to be using a Montana that has been night latch, as you can see. Perfect. Nice and wide, and we'll have it placed right in there. So we'll go ahead and get that done. So we got this coyote set almost ready. So we got some fox urine on there. Got the pan, everything set, and we have the whole bag there, which we'll go ahead and get some of this. So this is Baker's Fox and Coyote number 4. That's basically all it says. So we'll go ahead and give this a shot. A little different, not quite as pungent as Hellfire, so, but you never know, maybe that's something that they want. So got that stuck back there. We'll go ahead and finish up the rest of the traps at this property. So we made it over to the other side of the property, so we're gonna go ahead, set a DP right here, and then we'll probably set another one over by that house over there. And then after that, we might put a couple 1.5s out for coons and skunks alike. See if we can maybe get a couple of those. Probably around this area too, and then maybe a coyote trap on the side of the field. not freezing down. So basically set your trap how you kind of want it. So I want it just a little off to the right, looking for a right foot catch. And we're gonna have the hole up here. So it's a good distance away, maybe even a little further back. And then kind of see how big your trap is. That's how big you want your trap bed to be. You don't want to make it any bigger than what it needs to. So if you even need to, you can like mark it out like that. So we'll go ahead, dig this up here. Got a root, pull that back. And you don't need it too deep. You still want it level with the ground unless you're doing a step down set. But since we're just doing a basic dirt hole, I'm just gonna tear this all up real good. Move what I can. A lot of people are worried about scent and stuff. I'm not as much necessarily. I don't find it as big of a problem for catching, whereas trap placement's a lot more important. They already know farmers are out here. There's deer hunters out here all the time. They know people are here. No one's really trapped this property, so it should work out just fine. So as you can see, fits the trap real nice. We'll actually go ahead, fill up the edges right now that we don't need, just making it a lot more solid. We'll go ahead and actually put this set in. So this is a wolf fang stake. So it's a cable stake, real nice. You can reuse them multiple times, which is good. And they hold coyotes really well. Then hit it on the side so you can actually get the thing out, because they do like to stick. Then we'll go ahead and set the stake just like that. Pull that back so it's on our way. And then we'll kind of feed some of that chain down there, since we don't want it to interfere with the trap. So a good way to set traps if you're not super big or anything like that, I'm not that big obviously, is use your knee right below your knee to grab that jaw, and then you're able to hold the other one with your one hand while you work it. So this is actually a dogless trap. As you can see, it just has this right here. So we'll actually go ahead, I believe this one is night latched, and we'll see if you guys can hear the click. Oh, well, too far. They're hair triggered, so we'll go ahead and redo that. Push that down. Let's see if we can get this one this time. Right there. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was the night latch click right in. So I don't know if you guys can see, that is completely level. Not gonna have any problems. We'll get some of these leaves out of here. Stick out of here. Open that up. Feed some of this down. So what we'll actually do is make a little hole just like that, just for our chain to set in, so it's not going to make your trap lopsided. So it feeds right in perfectly. And everyone has their preference for whether you want the dog this way, dog that way. This is a dogless trap, so it doesn't really matter. but I always tend to put the dog towards the dirt hole. Whether that improves catch rate or anything is kind of up to the person doing it, but to each their own basically. And then we'll go ahead, I use latex covers for my traps, so we'll grab this out here just like that. I don't find wearing gloves do anything to my catch rate, especially on the properties that don't have any trapping or hunting pressure to them. They're not scared of people, but we will just cover up the pan just to make sure it will fire off. Just like that. Put that in. So you don't need a ton of dirt on top of your trap. You just need enough to cover it up. Obviously this looks different than all the dirt around it, so we'll mix it in a little bit. But you don't want to completely cover it up with this native dirt, because this is all going to freeze down. So you just want a little layer, a little dusting just to blend it in a little bit. They're going to be more focused on the smell. And then we'll kind of put a bunch of the dirt right up there. Kind of shows something was digging here. We'll move all these leaves out of the way. And we'll actually just put a couple leaves down like this. So unless you have something big in the way, they're gonna step where they want to step. But just a little opening right there, just kind of coaxing them there. But hopefully they spend enough time at this set that they will actually get caught. So I just use my wolf fang setter to make my holes. Some people use drills. I just find that this works for me for this time of season. Obviously once it gets real cold out you need to change it up, but you want to make it a nice angle so they have to get up close. We'll go ahead and move this over for us. Then we'll grab our lure. So what we're using today, I'm gonna take my gloves off, is Hellfire from Dunlap. So it says a long call smear. You can smell it far away, so coyotes can too. So I take off my gloves when I'm working with lures, just in case if anything does get on my hands, at least then I can just keep my gloves on then. So, and this stuff you don't want to get anywhere. So I'm very cautious with it. The smell of human isn't going to do anything to them. They're going to be a lot more focused on this. They're going to be wondering what the heck this is. So we'll make sure, just a little glob it right on it, and you can smell that thing really far away, and we'll stick that all the way down that hole. And as you can see, that whole stick went all the way down, so that's really far down. And then, yeah, basically that's it. We have that all done. We'll kind of show you the finished product here with all the stuff all the way. If you guys have any questions of any other sets, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. We'll certainly show you guys that. If you have any ideas to improve this set, obviously let me know. Always looking to learn more. So we'll get all the way here, scruff that up, make it look like it's all just messed up. We'll have a little step over stick, whether that matters or not. Yeah, you can see how it looks just from out here. It just looks like a hole that something dug. So this one's gonna blow directly down onto this trail, so if they're down there, they'll walk right back up, figure out what it is, get stuck. So yeah, if you guys like this, feel free to subscribe and like for more. Nothing in them, so we're gonna go ahead and pull the two that are over here, but we're gonna leave the one that we had the raccoon in the other day. So we'll probably put a couple more DPs back there, so follow along. So we went ahead, got to the next location here. So we have to follow this trail back. It's kind of an easement, and then we have the rest of the property. So there's a creek back there, so obviously we have to keep abiding by that water rule that we've told you guys about multiple times. So what we're going to do is put 2 Montana 3s out for the coyotes, and then we're going to put 2 1.5s out for the raccoons. So not a huge area to work with, but just enough for a couple traps. So we'll go ahead and get those out. And then we'll probably be back tomorrow and blow it up with some tannerite. But for right now, we want to just break it up, see how many beaver are here, how active they are. So it runs from all the way over there, all the way around here, all the way back up to there. So really large beaver dam. We're going to do our best to break a couple holes in it at least, and then we'll be right back. Hey guys, so we just got the dam all broken apart. As you can see, running smoothly, almost making no noise, so you know that we got most of it out. Hopefully we'll see if the beavers come along and fix it up, since their whole dam, or their house, was actually covered in duckweed all around it. Very hard to find the suts, and the water was too high to use even gauntlets to get it down there, and it's pretty chilly. So we decided to go ahead and break a nice big hole in the dam to lower that water level enough that we can actually go in and set the 330s around the house, and also see how much the population is here, as we're not sure if there's just 2 beavers or if there's more. Obviously if they fix this overnight, there's more than 2, but if they don't fix it, then there's probably not that many. So I don't know if you guys could see the difference in water level from before and after, this side versus this side. It was quite extreme. It was probably 3 feet, and now it's almost not leveled out, but it's a lot closer. It's probably 3 and 2 right now. And yeah, really powerful current. You gotta be very careful, and also make sure that it's legal in your state where you're doing it. Depending if you're on public or private land will also determine that as well. So really check your regulations. This was completely fine, so we got this all broke apart. We'll come back tomorrow, see if we have anything else. Then we'll also probably go down there next time and see if there's a dam down there or not, just to confirm, to make sure that it's not flooding anything down there. Last time we checked, there wasn't anything, but you never know what can happen in a week. So yeah, as you can see, all the duckweed's flowing out, which will clean up right by that house nicely, and that is all coming down. So tomorrow hopefully we can see a really big water level change, as yeah, this log was actually underwater before, so it's not even in the water anymore. So we got one here in the DP at this barn. So the farmer has us out here trapping just to get them out of the barn. So yeah, just a nice medium-sized raccoon. We'll go ahead and get them out of here since the farmer doesn't want them here. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get that. So we got the raccoon dispatch. We're gonna go ahead and reset this trap here. Nice and easy. The wolf thing is still nice and deep, as you guys can see, so we don't have to do anything about that. And we'll see if we can find a hole for it. Get that out of here. Just a little bit, and then a little bit around. It's all good. So there is a little bit of blood. We basically just kicked some dirt over it just so it's out of the way, but most raccoons, they won't be fazed by it. So we got this one all done. We'll move on to the next location. We made it by the river here. We'll be putting a coyote trap back in by the river, and then we'll also be putting one right next to this crop line, as that's probably where they'll be walking as well. Let's get at it. We got to the location by the river that we're going to be setting a trap. Right down there, there's a lower walkway that they use, and then there's also this upper one. But right here is where it first starts getting to that lower section. So we'll just start up here, so that way we're hitting both of the entry points. We just have this little stump. I broke a couple other logs around it just as a natural block off, actually. And we'll just be using a bridger trap right here. So we'll clear away some of this, and we'll probably even use some of this as a backing as well. You don't need too terribly much because they're going to be running near the river anyways. And then now that it's not going to be freezing or anything like that, we don't need our wax dirt, so makes it a little easier where you don't have to lug out quite as much stuff as to before. So we'll go ahead, get this all unwrapped. Go ahead, grab the little thing here. Get it started. Use your knee to open it up, makes it a little easier. Flip it open. And then this bridger was modified a little bit in case you catch any coons or anything like that. A little more soft catch with a little bit of rubber on there, just to make it where hopefully they don't chew off. Also helps with coyotes as well. Nice big trap, heavy duty. Nice amount of chain. We'll go ahead, pound our hole for the chain. Just like that. We'll see where our trap sits here. See if we like it or not. So it's pretty good. It needs a little bit of dirt. We'll pack it down. Just like that. And then always make sure your trap is nice embedded, because if it moves around, they will get wary and they will just run. They won't stay around. So we'll go ahead, get that all packed in all around. Also leave down below what kind of traps you guys like to use. You guys see me use Montanas quite a bit. Just really easy traps. I also like the bridgers. And we'll go ahead and see what else we got here. And I'll actually use the Wolfang setter to dig my hole. And I'll put it right next to this stump so it looks like something's been digging. And make it nice and deep. So they really need to get in there. Then I do need one of our pan covers to make sure it actually fires off. Not too worried about scent. Go ahead, toss those back in. But just because you don't care that much doesn't mean you should just go crazy with it. I did forget the actual sifter back at the truck, so we'll just work with what we got here. With this being such nice and dry soil. It makes it where you can basically do it on your own, just like that. We'll go ahead, put some of this dirt up here, make it look like something's been digging. Basically, you want it to look like something's been trying to hide something. Then we'll go ahead and use the wind to our advantage, get some of those leaves on there. We'll actually move this log a little bit over like that. So we're most likely going for probably the right foot because they're going to be coming up. The hole is off center there. We'll go ahead, mix that up a little bit. So we're actually going to put a little bit of a mixture of stuff on this one just to test out some stuff. We'll go ahead and use some Fox and Coyote number 4. Real strong stuff. Get the stick in there, stir it around, take it, put it down the hole, cover that up. And we'll also go ahead and use some Cavin's Minnesota brand Predator bait. So this will work from anything from a coyote to a bobcat to a raccoon. Basically anything that is a predator, we'll go ahead and take it. And we'll take actually a pretty good amount here. And we'll stick that down the hole as far as we can get it. So that's probably a foot down there. I would say probably a 45-degree angle. Makes it where it's difficult for them to get to it, so they're going to work your actual trap a lot longer. Gives you a better success rate out of it. So I'll go ahead and get all the stuff out of here so you guys can see what the set looks like once we're finished. Just kind of brush it up a little bit, move it out. So they're going to be walking along the bank here, and then they're going to get this crosswind from the bait. They're going to walk right up to it, figure out what it is, they're going to dig for it, and then they're going to get stuck. So yeah, we should be ready to go. We'll move on to the next one.
Choose it, don't lose it, don't let confuse it. Only then you'll be God. Feel like that. Feel like, feel like that. Feel like that. Lay your arms around me and stay with me. Feel like that. Lay your arms and stay with me, baby. Feel like that. Lay shining star. Giving, receiving, changing, believing, only then we could start. Feel like that. Feel like that. Feel like that. Lay your arms around me and stay with me. Feel like that. Lay your arms and stay with me, baby. Feel like that. Lay your arms around me and stay with me. Feel like that. Lay your arms and stay with me, baby. Stay, 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 stay,
So we got the dam broke apart. Only took us about 5 minutes this time compared to what, like 30 before. It also helps that we had the right tools this time. And it was just a lot smaller because it was kind of their temporary fix. So as you can see, we got it all broken apart. So the main channel is basically halfway between each side. It's actually only about a 3-foot creek, pretty small. So all this water is going to drain out slowly. And just to make sure, there are a couple beaver here left, obviously, because they rebuilt the dam. We'll set some 330s around their house because they will have to be active tonight in order to stop this from draining, or else they're going to have a bigger problem on their hands. And down there you can see still a little flooded down there, but that's just because it's still trying to drain out this massive quantity of water in front of us. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get some traps on their house. So we made it to the beaver dam here. So quite large. There's probably only a couple left. Beaver hut, my bad. So we're looking for the entrances. So we found one right here. And then there's also one over on that side that we'll set. And then there's most likely one more on here. Typically they have right around 3 on a hut this big. So we'll go ahead and get those put down. So we got this first one in the water here. So we just had the 2 sticks anchoring it just to make it nice and easy for us. Sorry about the wind, it's pretty windy out, but don't really got a choice, gotta get this done. So we got that right there. We'll go ahead and put some guiding sticks because they have to come out. And then we'll set up on the other ones. So we're at the other side. So you can see the 1-330 right over here. Right over there. Can't tell how high the camera is right now. I'll move my head around. And then we have the other one right here that we're gonna go ahead and set. And then he's working on guiding for that opening over there. Since that one's really wide, that's probably the main one that they use currently. We gotta put in a guide just to make sure, since they have a really wide berth. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get this one done and then we'll move over there. So always keep your triggers with the safeties on until you're ready. You don't want to have any mishaps, especially with these out here. Very difficult to get off. So we'll go ahead, just move some of this duckweed out of the way for us, make it a little easier. Go ahead, stick that stick right down. And then there's so much debris around, it basically funnels them on its own. So we actually don't have to do that much funneling. And then we'll go ahead and tie off here. I just use a quick link on the 330 chain, since whatever goes in here most likely isn't going anywhere. But you always want to make sure you aren't going to have any problems. So we'll go ahead, see how long the chain is. It'll work perfectly fine going through one of these. We'll go through this one right here, wrap it around, and then tie the quick link on. Just like that. And it's pretty cold out, so kind of starts to eat away at your hands. It's supposed to warm up in the next couple days, go up to 50. Right now we're working with ice conditions, so kind of slows us down, but we should still be able to get this done. Hopefully we have some beavers tomorrow for you guys. And then we'll go ahead and figure out where we want all of our stuff here. I'll move that stick off to the side. I'll most likely put that one up a little bit. And then this one can actually get moved out, since we'll just have the springs way out on the sides. And as you can see, hopefully you guys can see, it's just gonna go straight down all the way to the bottom. That's where you're wanting to put it. Since there's all this debris out here, they're gonna stay close to the bottom on this set. And then, let's see where I got it here. And then on all my 330s, I have a little wire set up to hold my safeties back. A little trick that I got from 330 Maniac, because that way it's not going to come back down and interfere with your trap. So we'll go ahead, wipe off that hand, and swap back over here. We'll find our wire, which is right here. Clean that off so we can move this down, just like that. Move it back up, grab the wire, wrap it a couple times. Now keep it out of the way. Almost got my glove underwater. Wouldn't have been fun. And then now it's set, it's ready to go. So you gotta be ultra careful here. So we're gonna move everything out of the way that could possibly set off this trap. Because as much as I like catching things in these, I don't feel like getting caught in one of these or having to reset one out here. So we'll go ahead, send it all the way to the bottom. Just like this. Re-anchor that stick. keep moving that down. Perfect. So this one's all done. Basically, it doesn't need anything else. At most, I'll probably put this stick right here just to make sure they stay down if they do come around. But there's a bunch of logs and stuff just under the water line, and then they'll come right out, flow right through here. They typically go right through that cross. And then yeah, we'll go ahead and get on to the next one here. So we got to the last opening on this beaver dam. So it has, or beaver house, my bad. We'll go ahead and actually get the trap set here, keeping the safeties on as always until you're ready to put it in the water. So I just use my knee, put it against an object, slam it down. I always use the first trigger spot, but I don't think it really matters. We'll go ahead and move it up because I know I'm gonna want my springs up quite a bit probably. Walk on over here. So what we'll do, we'll just set this down for right now. We'll find something nice and sturdy to tie this off to, or something nice and heavy like a big log. Set that down. Take this. I forgot my quick links for this one, so that makes it nice and fun. So we'll just go ahead, tie some granny knots. Since whatever's going in here most likely ain't moving, but at least this way you're able to spot them. So we'll go ahead, get this one ready. So you say it's right here? Yep. Right in here? Perfect. We'll move this stick out. I'll grab that stick, put it over here. Alright. Give myself some line. Make sure this is where I want it before I take my safeties off. Gonna actually flip that around. So I'm actually gonna straighten that one out a little bit. Toss this one through. So that'll work. But I'm pretty sure that's deeper than I can go with my gloves. So we gotta bring her back up and take off the safeties. And tie them up nice and far away from where they can engage. Perfect. We'll actually straighten that one out a little bit. And this one will go straight down for me. And we'll just stick these sticks nice and deep. So this one actually has a natural barrier for it, so we actually don't have to put anything down. So there's this huge tree that they timbered to make into their home, and it comes right down, right underneath water level right here. So they actually swim underneath that log to get inside. So yeah, this one's all good. Those are just the 4 traps that we'll be putting out today for them. And then we'll also be walking through here, breaking this ice since we broke a hole in the dam. Get all this duckweed out of here, and then hopefully tomorrow we're actually able to see exactly where the runs are, even though we're pretty confident this will just confirm that. So we're back out here at the Beaver Dam, just taking a look. So we broke this out 2 days ago, and then yesterday it went down far enough that we're able to put some 330s by their hut. And then left them overnight. We haven't checked them yet, but it does look like they somewhat fixed it this time, but not nearly as well as the day prior. So that makes me think that there might be something in the traps, or it just was way too hard for them this time. So we'll actually go ahead, break this apart probably the last time, or maybe one more time tomorrow, and hopefully we got them all. So we got it all broke apart here, nice and wide, just like it was previously, flowing real nice. You can see all the duckweed getting flown out. So we'll go ahead and go check the beaver traps and see if we got any. We got up to the beaver dam, and it looks like 3 traps weren't hit, and then it looks like the last one was set off, but nothing was in it. So we'll go ahead and get this reset, and hopefully we got something tomorrow. It looks like they did go ahead and fix that dam breach, so we'll actually go ahead. I'm tired of them fixing it. Hopefully we have one over in the traps. I haven't checked yet. So we'll go ahead, make a small opening, and we're gonna put a TS85 in there, foothold, and just try to get this done with. So we'll go ahead and make a little cut into that dam over there. Try to keep it small, so hopefully they go back in there. And then we'll go over and check the traps. As you can see, all of this used to be underwater here. No longer underwater. Most of these trees are back on solid ground now, actually. So we'll go over there and check and see if we got any. If not, I might even make a second dam breach and put a 330 breach set over there. And then hopefully I brought some muskrat traps. We'll go ahead and see if we can find any muskrats to go ahead and trap. And it looks like we do have some raccoon tracks. So that'll be something later down the road. I didn't bring any here, sadly. I set them all up top. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started on this dam breach. Let's see. So that'll fit perfectly. It's not too deep. It's actually pretty good. We'll just go ahead with our gauntlets, smooth out this area. We'll get some of these twigs out of the way too, just so hopefully it takes them a little longer to patch it. And then let's go ahead and get this done. So I will be out here tomorrow morning to check these, and then also some raccoon traps that I have put out here. So it should be pretty good. go ahead and get this set. It looks like a really big trap, and it is, but the actual power of the springs isn't super strong. So, and you have pretty good holding power with these big jaws. You can actually open it up pretty easily if you have solid ground underneath, that is. So I always open it using my knee. Makes it easier. This is a dogless trap, as most of these bigger traps are. So we have it right here, and as you can kind of tell from the size of my hand, that's a big trap. So in case you do get that hind foot catch, you still will actually get it. So we'll go ahead, set it like right there. Hopefully this dust subsides in the water so you can kind of see. Some people like to hide their trap tags under the dirt or mud because they think it might give away where the trap is. These beavers have never been trapped with a foothold before, so they should be just fine. So this is just a couple inches underwater in front of where the actual breach is. So that's where they're going to be getting up to actually drop off whatever they're bringing. So I'll go ahead and get this tied off for us here and be right back. It looks like the foothold trap we put out is still there. They didn't fix this at all. So it kind of makes me think maybe we got one in the 330s over there. Hopefully we do. We'll go ahead and go take a look. Again, being wary of the trees because it is so windy out. All of these things are moving quite aggressively because all their roots are compromised. So we'll go ahead and get moving to the beaver dam or beaver house. We've got out to the beaver house here. It looks like two of the traps haven't been set off at all. This one got set off. Most likely they tried getting in a bunch of stuff in their mouth. So that one is needing to be reset. But this one looks like we actually got something in. So finally, I think this is either the last or the second to the last beaver here at this property because that dam breach hasn't been fixed. So that's why it makes me think that we got them all. Let's go ahead and get our stick out. As you see, it was right at that front entrance to the beaver house. I figured this is where we're gonna get them, not those side entrances, because that one's getting pretty shallow. The one back there is getting pretty shallow as well. So it's either this one or this one, but sadly this one's always stuck up with twigs and leaves and stuff that it really hampers the 330 to actually get a good catch on them. So we'll actually get up here, move on over. Getting pelted by stuff right now, so it's kind of annoying. And wow, look at that big beaver. I figured it was going to be a really big one just because of the amount of stuff that he was fixing. Oh, okay, we got a big boy here. Let me see if I can make it where you guys can actually see what's going on. Nice head catch as he was coming into the house. Just massive beaver right here. So I'll probably leave the other traps in just because I'm going to be putting out some muskrat traps as well. But let's see if we can actually get this dude untangled so we can actually get his butt out of here. Okay, there we go. Gonna be a nice fun haul back to the truck, that one's for sure. So yeah, we got him right here. I'll go ahead, get him back on dry land so I can show you guys exactly what he looks like under all the duckweed and everything. We got the beaver mostly out of the traps. I got the springs off. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is get it off of his head here. I'll go ahead and reset this one. I was gonna put out a H-stand one over on this side over here, but I'm kind of deciding against it right now. I'm pretty sure this was the last guy in here, but I'll leave out these traps since I'm gonna be putting out some muskrat ones anyways. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna put any muskrat ones out today just because of the weather. It makes it really difficult to make sure you get out here quick enough so their fur is still good. Since it's like 70 degrees, I might have to wait until next weekend to do it. So I'll probably go ahead, get this guy back to the shed, leave most of the stuff for the muskrats out here, and then I can go ahead, next time I come out, I have all the stuff already prepared, ready to go right here. And all I have to do is set it out. I think that's gonna be the way to go, because I'm gonna need to check this next day when it's this hot, or else that fur is gonna go bad on me. So no point in wasting it if you don't need to. I'll go ahead, get this guy back to the truck then. I just stumbled upon this one. There's a nice channel here from the beavers that we could go ahead and put a H-stand 330 on. Hopefully tomorrow I'll remember to bring it and we can go ahead and set it right here, since they should be using this as pretty good travel way. If not, might get an unlucky muskrat in there, but should be pretty good nonetheless. We're moving out to kind of this main area. This was actually just a little grassland field prior. This whole area, it's just crazy what it got turned into because of these beavers, which it turned it into quite a duck habitat, but it's kind of wrecking the deer area around here. And that's kind of what the farmers want back. So, well, at least this particular farmer. Not all farmers want them back. This used to probably be waist deep prior to breaking that dam in the earlier video. Now it's obviously knee deep, maybe. And we're about to lose our wind cover of all the trees. And what I'm looking for right now is basically just super easy sets that I can put out here. I actually have the truck parked up there, and I usually walk down here. So it'd be even better if I can have a kind of a straight line from the truck out to here with traps all around for muskrats on the way, and then I can pick them up on the way back. And this is all still in pretty decent water level. So we have one right here, and then we kind of have a smaller feeder that they're starting up over there. What we'll do is get up to here, see where they're kind of ramping up. On all muskrat houses, there's like a ramp they're using to go up to the top, drop stuff off, eat on top of the house, all that. So get my stick in there so I don't lose it. And I have my pack basket, which makes this pretty easy. If it goes in the water, it don't matter. And then I use just these little orange stakes, which I spray paint orange so I remember where they are if I do lose them, or if you're checking out at night, it helps as well. Over here is the obvious sign of where they're kind of running up. There's also one on the opposite side, so we'll probably set two on this house. I'll set this one nice and deep. Basically what you're doing is you're just trying to hold them here until they dispatch in the water, because once they get caught, they're just going to run off. So we'll get our gloves on here. You can use like #1 coils, #1 long springs, stuff like that, which I do have as well. Just a moment, I'm trying to keep the wind off of you guys. Make sure my hat doesn't blow off. This is the first day of deer season, so got my orange hat on so I don't get shot out here in the marsh, which is public, or it's private anyway, so it's not like they'll be out here doing any damage. So we have our 1.5 coil right here. It's nice to have that extra weight, as it'll help dispatch them quicker compared to like a number 1. So if I do have 1.5s that I can use for this, I do go ahead and use them. But if I have to, I'll use 1s, especially in deeper water. They're just as useful, but since this is kind of shallower, I want to make sure that they do get dispatched quickly, since I don't want them to be moving around too much. And for this one, I don't really have a nice connection, so I'll just use this bit of wire here. We'll move our trap down to here. Try to keep looking at the camera, make sure it's still relevant for you guys. We'll go ahead. This is pretty sturdy cable for what it is. This is just what I got on hand, so what I'm gonna use for this. Go ahead, twist it around, move it together. Just like that. And then we'll go ahead and actually twist the wire. They're not gonna be taking this out or anything, but you wanna make sure, just in case there's a different animal trying to get that muskrat from you, kind of gives them a battle. This is almost the time that muskrats are gonna be out and about, so might even get one set off when we're still out here. These muskrats will walk or swim basically right up to you, look at you and be like, oh, it's a person, and then run away. So we could have that happen. Let's see, get my knee up here so I can actually set this trap. This here. That down, put that pan up. Nice little trap right there, ready to go. It's on our stick, which is actually in a run, so I'll actually turn that sideways a little bit to give it a little better holding strength, though it's not going anywhere. I'll actually move that stick out like where it's at. Move it up, make sure it still gives enough line, just like that. And we'll make a nice little pad. I'll actually put on my gloves because they do like to poop and stuff, and I don't feel like getting that all over my hands if I can help it. You're not allowed to destroy muskrat houses in most states. This isn't destroying this, this is just making it a little nicer for us. It's still going to be useful for them. And boom, muskrats are easy. They're going to go ahead, get stuck. They're going to be like, uh-oh, run off, dispatch in the water. We'll go ahead and time lapse the rest of these, since you guys don't need to be sitting here watching me put out 4 more of them. And yeah, if you guys have questions, let me know. we're out here checking the muskrat traps on our way out, since I need to either set them off or I need to take them out, since I won't be out here for a couple of days basically. And it looks like we got one right here in that very first trap that we put out. So just a nice size, not too big, you know, just an average mill rat. We'll go ahead, toss this buddy right up there for right now. And with this, I'll actually go ahead and reset it, since I'll actually come out anyways, making the executive call because that water is going down. I don't have all the time in the world to get these sets and make connections, so I need to do it while I can, because that water is going down, because that beaver is no longer going to be able to repair those brakes. So we'll go ahead, got that trap reset, nothing fancy, get this back in there so it's not going anywhere. Set this trap just like before. It'll go ahead, get stuck just like that other one did. So we got this nice rat right here. The other side doesn't have anything, I already checked it. We'll go ahead and move on to the next house, see if we got anything over there. So we're here at the next set for the muskrats. I don't see the actual trap anywhere, so we'll just cautiously pull this up, see if we got anything. And yep, much bigger rat. Toss him right up there. This wind blowing is nice because it keeps all these like biting flies out of here, but it kind of make it difficult because I'm fighting against it the whole time. So we got the rat right there. Go ahead, get this trap reset for us. To do with gloves, can't really see what's going on. So I'll actually take them off so I can actually see. Gloves getting in the way of the actual dog. Open it up here, flip that around, take this glove off. Some traps are a lot easier to set with gloves on. Victor's not so much. So we got that. We'll set it right back where she was. Rinse and repeat. Hopefully get another. Get my gloves back on before they get too wet. Yeah, nice mature muskrat. We'll go ahead and get him in the pack basket and keep moving. We made it to the last muskrat trap here. It looks like we got one in it. I decided I'm not gonna reset these right away. I'm gonna reset them on the following weekend. That way I can check them the next day and make sure that fur's good. So I went ahead and snapped all those traps off so I didn't have to worry about them. Left them there, but since they're set off, they're okay. We're on private land, so we don't have to worry about anyone coming out here wanting to use those sets. So I just left all those there. This one I'll go ahead, take out of the trap, and then bring over to pack basket, and then we'll get out into the truck. And we keep moving, guys, to another one. So what we're actually going to be doing today is some night setting for a trap. So it's not really night. It's just dark out. It's like 6 o'clock right now. So what we'll actually be doing is mostly muskrat sets right now. I just have these 2 DPs out at this location anyways that I just unset for right now. So I figure we might as well just toss some food out here. It seems to be a really good location for producing. So that one's all good. We'll go ahead and get this one over here. Let's see. We got that one. Make sure it's still nice and tight. Not a problem. This one is actually a pusher pull, so just a little different. Actually don't remember leaving this trap here, but I guess we did. So just toss some of that. It's just some dog food mixed with bacon grease and cat food. We'll go over here to our last one. So I actually just have the 3 DPs out here. They've been out here for quite a while. They're not getting harmed in any way, so private property, not having to worry about anything makes this real easy. I'm in my waders right now, so they actually have a couple magnets on it, so it actually holds my setter where I just can toss it up, it'll lock in and ready to roll. So I'll go get the pack basket of muskrat traps and we'll go ahead and get those set along with the ones that are currently out there right now. This is the weekend, so it's a Friday. Instead of just trapping one day for you guys, I wanted to get 2 out of this weekend, especially because I know that it's going to start getting real cold here pretty soon. Right now it's only like 36, not too bad, but I want to get out here and do some open water trapping while I can, because I know I won't be able to for much longer. So I'll go ahead, toss that down. I'm not going to be putting out too many traps tonight just because this first location is pretty not used, it's just kind of depleted of muskrats compared to some of the other locations that I have that we can go to. So we'll do a little bit tonight just because I didn't feel like doing too much in the dark. And then hopefully tomorrow we'll go ahead, set out the rest, and we have some rats waiting for us. So yeah, let's get started. We're out here just gonna put a couple traps out before we go check those muskrat traps that we put out yesterday. And we're at this stream. We're gonna go ahead and set a dog proof on each side of it, since raccoons like to travel both ways. We're gonna keep it off the trail because there's still deer hunting, so they'll still be driving through here, so we don't want to be in their way or have a trap get run over. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get these in the ground and we'll go ahead and get to the muskrat sets. Just got finished setting the ones at this house, so we got one right there where they run up on the house. And then we have this one right over here that they actually run along. So both of these are deep enough water This one I moved a bunch of muck out of the way to make sure. So 2 sets on this house. I believe 2 sets. 1 set on the other house and then 1 on the other one. So we'll move on. I believe there's 1 over here at the peak, and we'll put some sets out at that one, and then we'll kind of see where we're at for that. So we'll just keep going. Put a trap on this side. If I have an extra one, we might go ahead and set a trap on the other side. Try to get a double off of this house, but yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. And then tomorrow when we check, hopefully we got them. We'll go ahead now and go check the traps that we set out last night. So we'll go ahead and go take a look at those. So we got 2 out of the 3 dog crews here with a catch. So we got a raccoon in this one, nice size. He's been messing with that twig, so kind of keeps him from tearing up the trap too bad. And then right over here we have a possum. Not that big, but we'll go ahead and actually take him out as well, since we'll go ahead and use him for his pelt and his skull. So we'll go ahead and get these 2 dispatched and show you the after the fact. We made it out to one of the muskrat houses. So far we haven't gotten any. This one got chewed off, so we'll add a little bit extra line to make sure he gets down in there. He had a little bit too much time. So we'll go ahead and get this reset here for us. So we got a nice solid back foot catch there. And then he wasn't gone, so we went ahead and put a 110 over him. So he's well and truly out. We'll go ahead and reset this. We'll make sure that this is nice and deep for the next rat that comes along. It is a #1 long spring, so he should have drowned, but he just had enough stuff to stand on that he was doing fine. So we'll go ahead and get this reset and keep moving on to the next one. We got our 3 catches here from this weekend. So we got the possum, and then we got the muskrat right here. As you can see by his leg, actually, he got pretty close to getting free there, but we got to him in the nick of time. And then we got that raccoon, nice and furred out. Not much for cockaburs even. Gonna be real easy to clean up. Looks like a female. So yeah, should be a good condition, good color, nice and big. Probably a 3X. That's what I'm thinking. Nice tail. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get them all skinned out, and then we'll keep the skulls as well to do that portion with. Froze up a little bit, but most of the houses are still open water around them. So it looks like at the first one we got this nice looking rat right here, and then the other trap that was next to this one was just set off. So we'll go ahead and get these redone here. This looks like a pretty nice rat, you know, nothing too big, just average run of the mill. Go ahead, set them in our pack basket. I'm actually going to move this over just a touch, just so I know that they won't interfere with each other. So we got that. Nope, well, guess we're getting wet. I'll actually pull it up first because there's a crease in it. Alright, so this is just a #1 coil spring Victor, as you guys can tell by the pan. So yeah, we'll go ahead and reset this one and also the other one, and we'll move on to the next hut. Alright guys, so we're at set number 4. So the first set we checked, we got the average muskrat. 2 sets, we didn't get anything sadly. And then this is the 4th set here. And we got another nice, let's see, nice looking muskrat here. Got them in, I believe it's just a little single spring, yeah. Very good. Get him out of there. And then, yeah, he went ahead. This is a nice little V platform, so right around it, about 3 feet. I kind of cleared the way so it's nice and deep here, so they go ahead and dispatch right away. So this guy's ready to go in. We'll go ahead and reset the trap, and then we'll go ahead and get moving to the next set. Before we move on to the next set here, I just wanted to show you guys, this is the single spring that does not have a pan. It's just this little nub right here that gets set off. So he stepped on it just right and got it perfect. So it just shows you that any trap can go ahead and catch an animal as long as it's in the right place at the right time. So don't ever get discouraged if you don't have the best traps. So yeah, we'll go ahead, reset it just like it was before, and move to the next one. We're out here checking the traps. It's been 2 days since I put these out, so we're actually checking these on Thanksgiving here. Looks like we got a nice rat right here. Let's see, I don't want to get my gloves all wet. He got caught in the old coil spring and got all tangled up. So, worked perfect. I'm just gonna move my gloves all the way so they don't get wet when I toss them in there. Yeah, right now it's warm enough and windy enough. It's at 35 degrees right now, where the actual water isn't freezing on this pond so much, which is very nice. He really got tangled up in all this crud that's washing across. The wind's been blowing all this stuff right across into the trap location, so it really just kind of buggers it up. Find the trap here. That way we can actually pull all this stuff right off. Most of the sets that I put out are actually on the inside, so they're out of the wind. That way this doesn't happen, but this spot was just too good. I didn't want to pass it up. But we'll have to go ahead and clear all this stuff back out prior to putting this back, so we'll get them out. And that was only a couple toe catch, so he couldn't have been alive in there too long, or else he would have broken his way out. Nice looking average muskrat. Gonna be kind of typical of what we're gonna get in this location, but thankfully we are still catching them, even though it is pretty chilly out. They're still moving, which is perfect right now, because once all this freezes up, can't really use footholds anymore unless you put them inside the huts. Just get all that moved out of the way so it's not gonna interfere with the next one. Go ahead, toss the gloves back in. Real mucky bottom. Get all this pulled out. Yeah, let me know how your guys' season's going so far. Has your areas froze up yet? What are you guys targeting? Always love to hear that kind of stuff. See what everyone's going for this year. Since prices are pretty rough right about now. Right here you can see they're running up to put more stuff on top of the house for winter. And then there's also this little path that they use to go sit underneath for protection and also eat. What we're gonna do is go ahead and actually put this trap right at like the intersection of that. So we're gonna move some of this stuff all the way, make it nice and good for a trap. So right there, they're gonna run through, they're gonna get caught. They come this way, they're gonna get caught. They try going up the ramp, they're gonna get caught. So nice easy set, one that you can check pretty easy. You don't need to tie it off to anything super big. Like all I have is a stake, been in the ground for a while. We'll push it down a little bit more, but always try to move your stake. At least for me, I try to move it more towards deep water. That way it helps push them that way, because you want them to go this way. You don't want them to just go sit back there. So yeah, we'll keep moving. Hopefully we got a couple more in the traps. This little bit of a warm spell that we're having hopefully drew them into running around a little bit more chances to catch them. So we'll keep moving on. Checking the next house. Looks like we got a average rat here, just completely destroyed this area. To be expected from them. Let's see what we got here. Take off my glove. See how big this guy is. Oh, my glove came off. Kind of, he's average. We're getting a solid average out of this area. Yeah, they're all moving around right now because they're in panic mode. The water's going down. They're like, oh geez, half of our huts are not even in the water anymore. We need to get moving. Rightly so, they do. So that's kind of what we're helping them out with. We need to catch as many as we can before ice, because that's when a lot of them are going to die, just because there's no water left. This side might stay open with the runs, but the other marsh definitely won't. This one, depending on how cold it gets, it might. Let's see here what we got. Do we got anything? Not feeling the cable, so we might, we'll go ahead, pull it up here. I just can't find it. We missed. So they're here, they're moving a lot, so we got a lot of chances. This is kind of one of those days that it might even be worth coming out 2 times a day if you have the time. I just don't. Once in the morning, once in the evening, just to try to catch these guys while they're moving. So I'm probably, let's see. I'm gonna see where the best side would be. We'll go ahead, make a nice little safe cubby for them right there. Just push the stake down in this nice deep water, just like that. That way when they get caught, they run over here, dispatch right away. We'll get some of this stuff off so I can actually see the dog. And we'll go ahead and set the trap here. Lift the pan up to meet. Got that. We'll set this right in that cubby. They're gonna go up there to eat. Good protection for them. So they're gonna love that area. Boom, get caught. Or they're gonna just be running along close, get caught. We'll move on to the next for you guys. At the next hut here. So this is probably maybe 20 yards away. I can see fur floating right here. Means we got us something. Get this pulled up. Another average looking rat. Using a 1.5 on this one actually, so he went down for the count real quick. Good areas. You just need to know where to set. Just set where it looks like they're coming up to put more stuff on the houses, or if they're sitting under something. They sit on down trees and stuff like that. Real good places. You can also use 110s on these, put them slightly in the water with like a carrot on them. They'll get caught by that. Pretty easy to catch these guys. Looks like there's actually leeches in the water, so, which is to be expected. This nasty stuff. We'll go ahead and get this reset for you guys. We got that trap put in the water there, exactly where it was last time. Put on my gloves just to make sure I didn't get any leeches on me. Get those off of the trap. We'll go ahead and move. I did have a trap set back in that direction, but the water is so low back there now, I don't even think that they're using that hut anymore. So I actually moved it to a very large hut on a channel over here instead. So we'll actually go ahead and check that one here. at this next set here. Can already tell we have something because all of that damage over there. Obviously I didn't do that. There's something fighting that trap. Go ahead, take off our pack basket, grab our gloves out, move these gloves to the side. Today's turning out to be a pretty decent day, at least for rats. But this one set off trap, so it could have been 5, but let's see where this thing is. Let's see which trap was he caught in here. This trap is still set that I had right over here going up on the house. Go ahead, put that one back in. I'll actually find, oh, moved it. Grab this guy. Get all this stuff out of the way for us. And this guy was caught in that 1.5 coil as well. Really good traps if you have them and you're not using them for raccoons at the time. Really good rat sets. They just take them down real quick. I'll actually wash this guy off a little bit. Yeah, decent looking rat. Get all the water off that we can. Always try to dry off your fur the best you can. I always put them in the back of my truck on the way home so they get air dried pretty well. Another average rat, you know, they don't call them average for nothing, you know. You're gonna catch a lot of average looking rats just because that's what's around, you know. Hopefully we'll go ahead and actually catch a nice big one for you guys here sooner or later. Go ahead and make sure this looks good. It looks fine. That looks good. One thing about water gloves that I wish they'd get them to fit your hands a lot better. If you guys have any water gloves that you found to fit your hands where you can actually set traps with them, leave it down below. Because those I can never set these traps with just because they're just so bulky. This trap was just set right over there. I'll actually go ahead. Now that I got leeches on my line, a lot more cautious. I thought it might have killed them with that last cold spell, or at least put them into dormant status. Well, apparently not. This trap was just set right on this side. They just run right along, snap, get hit, go ahead and drown. We'll move on to the last set. I don't see any disturbance over there, so I don't have high hopes. But this weekend we'll actually go ahead and move a lot of the unproductive sets around. No point in having them in the same place if they're not going to connect. We're back at the truck here. Figured I would show you the day's haul. We got the 5 muskrats today. Didn't have any DPs or anything like that out since I wasn't checking them daily, so just had those set off. We'll go ahead and reset those for this weekend and then go from there. But yeah, 5 rats for 2 days for the traps that we had set out is pretty good, I would say. Well, mostly average rats. This one's the biggest right here, but yeah, I would say that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. If you guys have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave it down below. As always, let me know how your guys' season is going. I really enjoy hearing about it. What are you targeting the most? How many have you gotten so far? Welcome back to another one. So I'm not sure if this is going to be its own video or not yet. It'll kind of depend on what we have going. Right now it's about 30 to 40 mile an hour winds, constant, not even gusts, so it's going to be very difficult for you guys to hear. So I'm down at the second pond and I'm just hiding inside the duck blind right now so you guys can actually hear me. And what I have right here are 2 colony traps that hopefully we're going to find some places out here to actually set them up. Not sure how the audio is going to be or if we're just going to have to put text over the screen, but we're going to try our best here to give you guys a good video. We're going to try to set these up as best as we can. It's going to be difficult since all the ripples are going to hide the runs pretty well, but I figure we'll go ahead and set these out in the actual trap line that we currently have. I'm leaving the other half of the pond completely undisturbed for right now, and we're going to hit that side hard for ice trapping using colony traps and 110s. We might even set some of the muskrat huts, but you got to watch your regulations for that as it's not legal in every state. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started, see if we have any actual muskrats in any of the traps, and then we'll also go ahead and get these set up if we find any good runs. So we went through a couple sets, nothing in them so far. It's been very windy today, so I'm not sure if the muskrats are moving a lot or not. That's just something that we'll see as time allows. These are collapsible colony traps, so they'll actually collapse when you take these 2 bars off. They'll just slide back together, kind of like this one over here. So I brought out 2 today. I do have 1 more at the house, but it's not a collapsible, so I left it there. We'll just go ahead, unwind a little bit of the rope. You don't need a lot. It's not going anywhere. We'll go ahead, check our ends, make sure that they do open and they do shut. That one does, that one's good too. This is a nice run that they're using in between these cattails to get into the shelter where some of their other houses are. We will go ahead and set the trap right in there. And then I'll just go ahead and tie off to a bush or a cattail. We'll go ahead and find the best place for it. Because of how deep this water is, it makes it a little difficult. Because there's so much muck on the bottom. Might need to move some stuff around here. Make sure our end's still open, just like that. Perfect. The whole thing needs to be underwater, so they do dispatch. And then we'll just go ahead and just tie it off to some cattails. It's not like it's going anywhere anyways, but just good policy to have. Grab our gloves back out because it's actually freezing outside right now. And I just wanted to get one of these colonies out in one of these spots to block it. So this whole side's blocked off because of all these cattails on this side. And we'll actually block off this one with just some cattails as well. So they have to go through that colony if they want to get back in this little cubby. We'll go ahead, keep moving, see if we find another spot for this other trap. This is nice clean water, nice open runway. We got multiple big houses. This will be the side that we'll set on actually. I don't even have to getting this trap set up, which means they did the hard work for me. Just toss that line up there while I actually just give this a quick pull. My foot get some of that loose muck out. Let's see here. Take off my gloves before I get them wet. Running out of gloves. Yesterday, I actually came out to check traps. Did not film it just because I was showing someone that was interested. I was kind of showing them the ropes for it, so I didn't feel like filming at that time. It was funny, he fell in the water, so it was pretty good. We just got this tied off to just a little clump of stuff, not like it's going anywhere. More so just for me to see it. It's about, let's say, half an inch underwater. It's very close. You can probably see the take even right there. We'll go ahead. See, I can grab some stuff to put just over it. Just to try to make it go down. So it should ice up anyways. That shouldn't be the problem. We'll set it to the front and then also put some at the back, so if they're coming either way, they both duck in time. Yeah, that should be good. Haven't used colonies much, so we'll kind of learn as we go here. We'll go ahead and check the rest of the traps now. Got it all chopped out. Most likely won't reset this just because of, I'm pretty sure this whole section that I'm at is probably gonna freeze up by the time we come back. It already froze up the top section of my colony. I'll just leave it out for right now until we find a good run on the opposite side, and then we'll probably go ahead and set her in. Worked perfectly. Rat came in, tried to get back out, got trapped in. Nothing was really coming through this side, I don't think. So yeah, good healthy size rat. We'll go ahead, get him unclinched there. Just kind of holding on with his teeth. There we go. Not quite as much fun when you have like an inch of ice. Get them out. Perfect. Nice size rat right there. He seems pretty fresh too, because he's still moving. Or he's still movable, rather. So yeah, we'll go ahead, bring him in. We'll go check the other traps. I'm guessing we're gonna have the same problem over there. It's the same depth, so yeah, we'll go check them anyways. We'll have to pull out all these footholds and replace them with baited 110s and trap them in their houses. So something for you guys to stay tuned for. We'll go ahead, leave this colony above water so it can melt off and we can use it in a different location. So we'll go ahead and keep moving. Welcome back, guys. We're here at another day on the trap line. Today we actually have a special guest, my dog, because she is annoying the missus, so that means she gets to come out with me. So that's dope. We'll see how it goes. I already set 3 of the dog proofs up here by the truck area that you guys always see, and then we're gonna go ahead and start getting all the stuff out there for water trapping. So right now, a lot of the traps are out there, but they're frozen in, so I have to go ahead and chop them all out. So, gonna be carrying a lot of stuff. This whole pack is full. I have another colony that I want to bring out to this first section, and I'll just drop off. I'll find a place to put it once we get out there. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. We'll go ahead and get moving out there. All right, guys, we're next to this nice big beaver hut, or not beaver hut, muskrat hut. Good bubble trail line that comes right around right here. Well used. You see a lot actually. And then it also intersects with another bubble trail line going over to a different hut over there. Oh, I got a pheasant over there. What we'll actually do, since it kind of forms a Y right there between those huts, we'll move over here and actually hit it on the straightaway over here. So hopefully when they come to this side, they get hit from both of those huts. So yeah, we'll go ahead and hopefully break through the ice and go from there. We got that all cut apart. We'll make sure here that our doors work. There we go. Sometimes they just get a little off center after a while, so we'll make sure it's all set in here. Those doors are working perfect. And we'll go ahead, work this down. It's not a very deep run. So it fits nice. We'll just check it with our hands here. Always be careful when you're out here on your own. Make sure that you're not doing anything too dangerous. Make sure someone knows where you're at. There we go, that fits perfect. And those doors work. I always check once you put them back down that they go up and down, which they do. Perfect. So this one's all good. I have the string coming out just so I know where it's at. We'll go ahead and see what else we can get in today. It's getting a little late and I don't feel like being out here with the dog anymore. Been bugging me, so we'll go ahead, see if maybe we can get another colony in somewhere, but we'll go check and see. Whew. We're at the next spot. Drug the muskrat colony trap over here. The dog's still here. Well, she has fallen, but she's still alive, so don't worry. Really nice bubble trail here, so they're running from these houses, and then they're also running along the shoreline and coming out past here. What I'll actually be doing is trying to catch them when they come out here, just because that's the easiest spot for me to put it. I might actually put it up there. Now that I'm thinking about it, really slippery ice. Yeah, probably up here. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get this spot chopped out just like the last one and keep going. We got the spot ready to go. Make sure the doors work on the colony. They work perfect. We'll go ahead and set her down. We'll recheck the doors. No point in putting it in and not checking the doors, because then you're just missing out on an opportunity. Both are working. That'll be good. And then just to set something on top, I'll put that ice right there. So yeah, this one's all good. I'll leave the line out so I can see where it's at, but I'm not worried about trap theft or anything. We're in the middle of nowhere, so yeah, we'll go ahead and see if I can find a spot for one more. It'll just be a colony trap day right now. Just not feeling putting stuff inside muskrat houses yet, so a lot of work. We'll keep her going. We're here at the last spot. This is that let's make sure you guys can actually see. The two muskrat houses right next to each other, really big. This should be a really good area. And then there's this one hut right next to it, probably 5 feet apart. Those are literally touching. And then there's one right out in front of them. So this is going to be a high density area. Sadly, I only have one colony trap left. I only have 3 total. I'll go ahead and put it right here. So this is the, before I fall in, this is the run that they've been using to get from these 2 huts over to this one hut. Should be a really good place. A lot of bubbles right here, so this is probably where we're gonna hit them. If not, there might be one on the other side, but we'll go ahead and get started here with chopping. Got the ice out of the way. Let's just get some of this out. Let's just take a look at what we're working with here. Perfect. We'll go ahead. These are firing nicely. Make sure none of this stuff gets in the way. There's a natural barrier right here with all these cattail roots that the dog's looking at right now. That'll work perfect. So they'll round the corner. I'm just gonna check our doors here. They're gonna run around that corner, take a turn, get into the trap, or they're gonna come from this way. They're gonna run along, hit that natural root barrier, come around, hit the trap. So either way they're getting hit. Make sure to leave some line out, and we'll put our nice big piece of ice just kind of in there, you know. Just want to cover it up a little bit. That's all we're going to be doing today. We'll come back tomorrow. We might set more. We probably won't. We'll probably just leave it as is. Just not really into the hut mood, so I don't feel like setting those. And I forgot what we need for setting 110s. I didn't bring any potatoes, and I forgot the auger. Augers work perfect because you can just drill a hole, perfect size, put your stake down with the 110, boom, you're ready to go. So yeah, we'll start our journey back and keep this going. We got this muskrat in this baited set. They're running right along this corner line. We actually put these traps out when there's thick enough water or thick enough ice to walk on. So these have been out here for a couple days, and now the ice isn't strong enough to hold yet. We'll go ahead and get this guy out. And thankfully he left the carrot, because I didn't actually bring spare carrots. They're all over in the duck blind over there, and I don't feel like walking over there. This whole time, we brought out the dog since the wife wanted the dog out here, so we'll go ahead and see if she brings us good luck or not. She already got us some muskrats, so. And then we did have her by the coyote set, so we'll see if having a domestic dog by that or not matters. She seemed to like the bait in the lure, so that's any consolation. And we'll just go ahead and set this right back where it was. Did it close? Oh, I see him.
Yeah.
In that last clip, you guys just saw that muskrat swimming. We're gonna go ahead. Dog's mad. She can't get over. Come in.
Nala, come here. Good girl, come on. Good.
We have this trap set on the other side of these muskrat houses, but we saw this one just run right by, so we'll know we'll at least get one. We'll go ahead and set this one. They're running in between these houses and that house. Apparently this side's a lot more used than that other, because this has been out for a couple days and I haven't had anything. Using this little slot right here to run through. We'll take that to our advantage. We'll set this down nicely. Make sure these work. Set it down a little bit more. That's perfect. Got the ice cleared away so it's not going to interfere. If they ever come from these two out to there, they'll hit it from this side for sure. Yeah, it's sticking out a little bit, so anything coming from this area is not going to hit it. You're not going to get everything, but then also you have it where anything coming from this side is going to be running right along this side right into the trap. So you're hitting the most used highways in here, but you're going to be missing a little bit. Well worth it. We'll go ahead and keep going. We got a nice mature raccoon right here. He's a little more brown than what sells the best, but good sized coon. We'll go ahead and get him out, dispatch, and yeah, show you guys after the fact. We got a muskrat right at the first 110, so going pretty good so far. We got that raccoon that we'll go back and show you guys. We're just letting them dispatch while we're out checking these traps. Nice, probably on the small end of muskrat. It's not anything terribly big, let's be honest, but it was just right in one of their runs. You can see all the bubbles running right here. This is a really active cove, and yeah, carrot's still on there. No one came back past him and jacked their carrots, so that's a plus. I'll go ahead, get this guy out. Come on, buddy. There we go. So, not a huge muskrat by any means, but nice to get him out. Anyways, he's still decently warm, so he hasn't been out for too long. We'll go ahead and get this reset right in the same spot and see if we can get another one. So we got another faded 110 and another run. If you guys can see over there, we have the other 110, what, 20 yards away. So we're hitting this area pretty hard. We're gonna move all this ice away here. so it doesn't break the stick when I pull it up. I could already see this guy before I even took the ice out. Much better. We'll go ahead, take them out here for you guys. Now this is a much more so average rat, I would say. Go ahead, just kind of show you guys the size comparison, because it's really difficult with muskrats for you guys to tell just on film. Look at this little baby boy. Or even the tails stay pretty much the same no matter how big they get, but the body, this is much better. This is probably a medium to medium large rat, whereas this is small, obviously. So we'll wash them off a little bit. Sadly, we have no snow to actually give them a good dry. And we'll go ahead, take this, and we'll reset this here. We got to the first colony here, and you can already see the rat. I'm just gonna get some of this ice moved off, so it's easier to take them out and also reset it. This is a nice choke point right from this kind of inner hut. Nice big hut. He was coming from it and got smoked. Just like that. So this is a good area. Apparently we'll keep it here. We'll get him out. He's a little more soggy. Get some of that mush out from the bottom. Get this set back down. Always check to make sure that your doors are working. Perfect. Yeah. And we got this guy right here. Probably a little smaller than that last one that we got, but pretty nice. We'll go ahead and keep moving. So we let this guy just relax a little bit and check the muskrat traps coming back. And we'll go ahead and get his leg out and get this reset at the same time. There's a golf ball somewhere. Who knows where? Go ahead, reset this. Then we'll probably put a little glow coon on it as well, since we have it long. But yeah, nice decent size raccoon that we get to carry back. Nice fur. He was far enough away from the water that he didn't get wet. Makes it a lot easier to skin and all that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and keep checking traps. We got the day's catches right here. Got the 3 muskrats, probably a large, medium large, and then a small right there. And we got our 1 raccoon for the day. Didn't have any others, unfortunately, but this is a nice big coon right here. Be pretty good for market. Sadly, the market's really down, but it still will be good for what it is. You know, it's nice prime fur. It'll always sell. Back out checking traps. So far at this property, don't have anything. What we're gonna go ahead and do is reset this colony at a different location, because right where it wasn't hitting anything. Let's see. I'll show you guys here. There's all these huge muskrat houses, the biggest ones in this area. And we had the trap right where we watch muskrats run right here. They didn't like it. They wouldn't go through it. So decided to pull that out. And today I just saw muskrats running right here at this location. What I did is put in a 110 baited with a carrot, just because that one wasn't seeing a lot of action since it just got one out of it. Figure might as well move it around, you know, no point in keeping it in the same place. But what we got right here is a nice deep run coming from that house running along here. We're gonna go ahead and set this colony trap because this is a smaller colony width-wise, which I don't really prefer, but this will fit perfectly in that run without disturbing it. So that's kind of the main thing. We'll go ahead and get moving on this. We got that ice removed. I like to move it in a nice big chunk. This is private land, and with that I don't have to worry about people stealing or messing with my traps. I leave these big chunks so I know exactly where I left my colonies, because when they're underwater they're pretty easy to lose. We'll go ahead and actually untangle the rest of this, or most of it here. I would say if you guys are on private property, I would definitely recommend using like orange line or orange stake or something, as it's just very easy to lose. We're gonna go ahead, probably check with this hand, and see where we can find that indentation. It's really far. They're running right next to all these cattails and weeds, and instead of forcing them to go where I want them to, we'll go ahead and toss them right where they're running anyways. And the farther right that we can get it is the best. I want to try to snug it up. Make sure. Actually, I can move this side out. There's this big, or not really big, the bulbs of all these cattails and weeds are making a little front right here. So when they're running, they're gonna hit it and run right into the gate and go ahead and get dispatched. I just want to make sure it's deep enough that it's gonna hit them and that it's not gonna freeze, because with the actual gates, they're on hinges, so if the actual ice freezes on the top, they're not even going to be able to get into it because that hinge is going to be frozen. The best way you can make sure is I take a look at how deep the ice is right now and try to match the depth with the colony. Make sure, I just like to triple check that my gates work. And let's see. Just for preventative measures, we'll just take this and toss this right on the side of the gate so it holds it firm in case you get a big rowdy boy in there. They aren't gonna move it. Not like they'd move it anyways, but yeah, you don't really need much for muskrats, you guys. You can really make a lot out of a little. You guys saw that I literally just used a machete because I don't have my hatchet with me, and it worked just fine. Yeah, once it gets a little deeper ice, then probably gonna have a problem, but just how it goes, and we'll play it as time allows. But yeah, we'll go ahead and keep moving down the line. We're out here checking. This is a midweek check, so pretty much at night here, right around, I'd say 5:30-ish. Check 3 of the colonies. The 3 colonies are currently frozen in. We had a real good freeze these past couple days, so I have to go back and redo all those. Got quite a bit of ice. Anyways, the 3 colonies are frozen. I checked 2 of the Muskrat 110 so far. 2 of them doesn't have anything in them. But this one, you can see that there's one right there. We'll go ahead and get this guy chopped out here. We got the rat right here. That's a nice size rat. He got into the trap before it froze up, at least. Let's give you guys a clean. This one is gonna have to be taken off. You can tell another muskrat went ahead and actually ate most of that carrot off. So really good production set here. We'll see if I can get them off. If not, I'll bring it in to thaw and get a reset, and we'll keep moving on. We were able to get this trap reset and got that muskrat out of there. We'll actually go ahead and I'm just gonna clear out some of this stuff just so nothing triggers it. And we'll go ahead and toss it right there. I just have it sideways. We'll toss this right back in, making sure that it's underneath the freezing line. That way it hopefully won't get frozen back in. We'll go ahead and check the last trap. It might have something, maybe not, so we'll just keep moving. Got one here in the DP at this barn. So the farmer has us out here trapping just to get them out of the barn. So yeah, just a nice medium-sized raccoon. We'll go ahead and get him out of here since the farmer doesn't want him here. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get that. We got to the location by the river that we're going to be setting a trap. Right down there, there's a lower walkway that they use, and then there's also this upper one. But right here is where it first starts getting to that lower section. So we'll just start up here so that way we're hitting both of the entry points. We just have this little stump. I broke a couple other logs around it just as a natural block off, actually. And we'll just be using a bridger trap right here. So we'll clear away some of this, and we'll probably even use some of this as a backing as well. You don't need too terribly much because they're going to be running near the river anyways. And then now that it's not going to be freezing or anything like that, we don't need our wax dirt, so makes it a little easier where you don't have to lug out quite as much stuff as to before. So we'll go ahead and get this all unwrapped. And then this bridger was modified a little bit in case you catch any coons or anything like that. A little more soft catch with a little bit of rubber on there, just to make it where hopefully they don't chew off. Also helps with coyotes as well. Nice big trap, heavy duty. Nice amount of chain. We'll go ahead pound our hole for the chain. Just like that. We'll see where our trap sits here. See if we like it or not. So it's pretty good. It needs a little bit of dirt. We'll pack it down. Just like that. And then always make sure your trap is nice embedded, because if it moves around, they will get wary and they will just run. They won't stay around. So we'll go ahead, get that all packed in all around. Also leave down below what kind of traps you guys like to use. You guys see me use Montanas quite a bit. Just really easy traps. I also like the Bridgers. Out. So they're going to be walking along the bank here, and then they're going to get this crosswind from the bait. They're going to walk right up to it, figure out what it is, they're going to dig for it, and then they're going to get stuck. So yeah, we should be ready to go. We'll move on to the next one. So we went ahead, got to the next location here. So we have to follow this trail back. It's kind of an easement. and then we have the rest of the property. So there's a creek back there, so obviously we have to keep abiding by that water rule that we've told you guys about multiple times. So what we're going to do is put 2 Montana 3s out for the coyotes, and then we're going to put 2 1.5s out for the raccoons. So not a huge area to work with, but just enough for a couple traps, so we'll go ahead and get those out.